Hi YouTube, this is part 3. I'm just going to say this is crazy, saying that you're going to see more, you will see more of the web because that you're using an iPad, yeah? You'll actually see less of the web. That's the truth. So we'll put this as lie number 6. This guy, who's the Senior Vice President, says that you're going to see more of the web by using an iPad, yeah? No, you won't. Laptops have got 1024/768 and higher screens these days, yeah? They've got higher resolution, yeah? So it's not that, and if your browser is crippled because you don't have Flash, you'll actually see less of the internet because the browser won't let you see it, because it doesn't have the ability to display it, because it doesn't have Flash. So let's say 50% of the web pages you go to that have Flash graphics, Flash animations, Flash bars, titles, things that you can select, right? They won't be there. So I guarantee you will see less of the internet if you use an iPad. You have to see less of the internet. It doesn't have Flash. Okay, let's carry on. It says, take the New York Times, you can see all the top stories, and if you see something, you can tap it and you go in. Wow. You don't have to think about it, you just do. You don't have to think about it. Yeah, see the way they're marketing this? Yeah, they're marketing this for idiots. This device is going to change your life. If you have it, you will have more of the web than everybody else because you're stupid and you don't realize we're lying to you. You'll have more. And you don't have to think about it because you don't have to think with this device. You don't require thinking because you haven't got a brain. So this is the device for you because you don't have a brain. Yeah. So you don't have to think. It just does. Yeah. And it does it all more, bigger, better, cleverer, faster, more intricate, more detail, more high res. Yeah. And it doesn't do any of those things. It doesn't do any of those things. In fact, it does the reverse of those things because you do have to know what you're doing, yeah? You do have to train yourself. You do have to understand the touch functions, yeah? And you do have to think about what you're doing. You can't just put your hand against the screen, yeah, and telepathically project what you want. Like, you know, remember those movies you had with the fighter aircraft where you just think, arm the missile, fire the missile, and the bloody device takes care of the rest of it? This guy just said, you don't have to think about it, yeah? No, you don't have to think about it. If you want to go to the New York Times website, you don't have to think about bringing up the keyboard and typing in www.nytimes.com and understanding how to do that, yeah? Putting it in the URL bar, and don't forget to press the enter key at the end, yeah? Don't forget to press the enter key. No. You won't have to do any of that. You won't have to do any of that because you don't have to think. You don't have to think in order to use this device, yeah? So what you do is, you literally, you just sit the device down on your lap, yeah? And what you have to do is you have to clear your mind of what you actually want, yeah? You have to clear your mind and blank your mind out completely of, you know, what you might be thinking because you might influence the device. And then you have to not think about going to the New York Times, yeah? Yeah? Don't think about it. Remember, you don't have to think in order to use this device. So you have to not think, okay? So you must blank your mind out that you do not want anything. And then the device automatically knows that you want to go to the New York Times, yeah, and then connects you to the New York Times. It's superb. It's absolutely superb. It goes beyond time travel. It goes beyond precognition, yeah. It understands, it's quantum. It understands what you want before you want it, yeah. This device doesn't require you to think. Yeah, so you don't have to type, and you don't have to understand how browsers work, yeah, because you don't have to think, because you don't have a brain, yeah. You don't have a brain, then you don't have to think, yeah. It's designed for people without brains that don't actually have any thoughts, because then you don't have to think. Fuck me. It's got a world-class email client. Yeah. Yeah. You can go through huge quantities of email really, really quickly. Yeah. Do you know what? It shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It shows you 8 emails that you have in your inbox. Yeah. And in the right-hand screen you have a preview window. So you have 8 down the left-hand side. Yeah. So to go through these, you have to scroll up 8, up 8, up 8, up 8, 8 at a time. Yeah. So this is the easy way to access your emails. It's all right if you only get 8 emails a day, but if you get like a couple of thousand emails a day, I think this is not going to be a world-class business executive, yeah, enterprise-based email client. Yeah, this is an email client for thickos. Yes, it's got 8 showing. Jesus. Oh. It says, hey, when you want to compose a new email message, the keyboard automatically slides up from the bottom. Wow, yeah, I've just gone into a text box and the keyboard slides up automatically. Because I'm in a text box, it works out that I want to now type text. So the keyboard comes up automatically. Yeah, well, great. How about having a keyboard on the frigging device so you can type without it having to come up and obscure half the screen whilst you're typing? Because whilst you type, the keyboard comes up halfway through the screen. So what you were looking at, your original mail in the background, is now cut in half in order for you to have the keyboard there to tap on top of. Yeah? Doesn't sound very clever to me, but there we go. Oh, God. I just recommend, right, okay, I'm going to stop now because otherwise it's going to go into like 7 parts, but I just recommend you people understand that this is a seriously crippled device for seriously crippled users. Yeah. Now, I do think that it has a place. I do think this device has a place, and it has a marketplace for people who don't understand fuck all about computers. Yeah, that's its marketplace. It's designed to be a dumbed down, really, really basic device. It's not going to be for script kiddies, and it's not going to be for hackers, and it's not going to be for computer geeks, right? Because you will get very frustrated by how basic and, you know, crippled this device is. They call it a mobile, and it's not a mobile. Yeah, it can't make mobile phone calls. Now, they call the Apple iPhone a mobile because it is a mobile. They're calling this device a mobile, but it has no features that are mobile. Yeah, i.e. it doesn't make phone calls. Yeah, it can connect to the net via mobile phone towers, but it cannot connect you to make a phone call, because if they did that, you wouldn't want the iPhone. Yeah, so typical Apple marketing again. We'll sell you different devices for different functions. We'll make sure this one does this but doesn't do that. We'll make sure this one does this but doesn't do that. Yeah, so if you want this little function, you have to get this device. If you want this function, you have to get this device. And if you want this function, you have to get this device. You can't buy a device that has all the functions on them. No, 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 because Apple don't want you to have that, because then you wouldn't buy this one, and this one. Yeah, this is Apple marketing. If you had an iPad, right, costing between $500 and $900, yeah, if you had one of those, then you have an iPhone which costs like, you know, $400, $500 on top of it, yeah, and then you have an Apple iMac which costs about $1,500. You'd be spending about $3,000 here in order to, you know, move the functions you need between these 3 devices. Yeah, Apple are not stupid in how they market. So, oh, that's the end of the video. I'll come back with more Apple bollocks, but just don't believe these adverts. They're lying scum.